Well, since you asked me for a story of witches, guns, and a surprising amount of time spent in coffee shops, I do have an account of a certain person's Nuffield scholarship that you may find entertaining. It all began long ago, though not so long ago as to be in black and white times, when the hero of our story submitted their application. The plan was to investigate how food producers are operating in small spaces, while wearing the obligatory deerstalker and smoking a pipe, obviously. This lasted a particularly short time, as smoking a pipe is a terrible experience, and small space farming is essentially just market gardening with variations of location and crops grown. What did inspire, though, was the thinking of small-scale producers compared to the more industrial farming they were used to. Thankfully, no one checks up on what you actually research, so they looked at that instead. The learning started in weather that was unusually hot for the UK, but then, of course, they were in Brazil, in the gardens of the Mulheres de Gao, under a flyover on a patch of wasteland that, according to some very clever men in suits, would never grow anything. Yet here was a paradise of companion cropping, stacking fruits, vegetables, trees, medicinal plants, pollinator magnets, and then wrapping it all up in a restaurant-shaped bow, empowering the women of the community with affordable food and jobs. Our scholar considered this place, in a word, brilliant. If you are ever passing the favelas of Sao Paulo, you really must drop in, they said. It should be a necessary part of all Nuffield scholarships. On a more cautionary note, they added, I would recommend wearing something more than just a deerstalker when you visit, though. Having escaped Sao Paulo unmolested, which as you well know is an old-fashioned word for no one bothered them, our intrepid adventurer went to stare Death in the face, apologised for standing on his toes, and then asked directions for Detroit. It was here they had a fantastic jelly donut, and it's not relevant to our story. The coffee that went with it, however, is. Our friend had stumbled across the proprietor of the Detroit Coffee Club, who proclaimed, most people don't even know what the coffee is that they are ordering. Do you know the difference between a cappuccino and a latte? Of course, they replied. A cappuccino is made from 3 equal parts but separate layers of coffee, steamed milk and foam milk, whereas a latte, 1 part coffee, 2 parts steamed milk combined together. Well done, our coffee connoisseur replied. Many is the person who's fallen foul of that little test, and paid for it, of course, with their life. This is exactly why I set out to simplify my menu, to allow customers to ask exactly what they want without fear of ridicule or death. And it made our scholar think that maybe our industry is this opaque, and our customers don't know what they actually want or are buying. Over 100 visits later left them with a long list of questions challenging the thinking of agriculture. Are you going to answer these questions? I asked, after they had returned from gallivanting around 10 countries. No, they ejaculated, which is an old-fashioned word for exclaimed, as you perfectly well know. My position here is to propose unusual thought processes, and then lean back in my chair and look smug. But are you going to apply them to your own business? I pressed, determined to get more than just nonsense from the scholar. No doubt I can, they replied, but I must urge caution, for as a businessman I can see that any endeavour into small area farming, particularly vertically, comes with monstrous financial risk. Then you won't do it. Oh no, I'll do it, they said. I'm just saying, once I've done it, look out. Things can get monstery. But who, I'm sure you're wondering, is that scholar with whom I've been conversing? It was none other than myself. And if you'll excuse us, we're off to go do some more investigating. Good night.